All right, welcome to Strength Life number 4. Today's question is what's been the hardest part of my powerlifting career and how I overcame it, or something along those lines. Now, this is my third take. The first one, I butchered the angle. Number 2, I didn't record with audio. So third and final is going to be the best one, hopefully, but we'll see. I was a little bit annoyed and I had to take a step back and be like, all right, just a breather for a sec. So this is actually a really good question because the answer always surprises people. People assume that it's going to be 1, my mental health, which I've been very open with, or number 2, my drinking issue that I've been very open with, my very, very, very little drinking issue that was there for a few years. That's not the case. My biggest issue with powerlifting has been mental burnout, and that was due to powerlifting in itself. Now, I'll go into it a little bit. I started out lifting at about 21. So I lifted as a teen, then stopped, and started again just before I was 21. After a year of lifting, I competed and I did a 737 total, and I felt pretty hot. I felt like I had a pretty good future in this sport, and I had a lot of people telling me so. So I got very, very involved very, very quickly. I moved back to Australia, I concreted, I started competing a lot, competing overseas as well, way before I should have, because I wasn't mentally ready, and started coaching. Now, when you go from 0 to 100 in something very quickly, it's a surefire way to burn yourself out for most people. And that's what happened to me. I was getting pushed to compete a lot, I was coaching a lot, and all I did was powerlifting related stuff. I'd come home, I'd obsess and watch on TV, I would go on powerlifting forums, I would only talk to powerlifters. Everything I did day in and day out was around the sport of powerlifting. Now, fast track, I opened a couple years, and I opened a gym with my best mate Tyler, which, I was very involved in the sport. I was a pretty good coach, good lifter, the natural progression, right? Well, about 6 months into that, I started having this feeling where the thought of coaching, the thought of competing, the thought of talking to clients constantly made me physically ill. And I didn't know what was going on because everything about my identity was a powerlifter. I had made it the one thing I did and the one thing I talked about, the one thing I was known for. And then I realized if I stopped powerlifting today, at that time, I would have had nothing. I would have been a shell of myself. I had no skills. I'd worked the crown. I had nothing outside of that I could turn to. It was just that. And if I ever took a step back, not that I would now, but if I had of then, I would have had nothing to do. I would have had to rebuild myself as a person. And that scared the hell out of me. So I was talking to a couple mates about it. And, we established after some good conversations that the big issue was that everything I did and everything I was powerlifting. And I was obsessed. And it's that word there, obsessed, that really put the nail in the wood. I don't even know if that's a saying, but I'm bringing it in. Obsession is used to describe a lot of people on, in a lot of sports or a lot of fields that are really good at what they do. Oh, so-and-so is obsessed, it's awesome, he's going to be the best. Well, obsession in itself is not a good word, right? You don't use obsession as a good descriptive word. He's obsessed with her. She's obsessed with him. It's not a good thing, and it's not healthy. No matter what facet of your life you're obsessed with, it's not a healthy way to be. So I really had to focus on branching out a little bit. Now, 80% of what I do is still powerlifting, but I started playing video games again. I started reading again. I started going out and seeing friends again. And that's what really helped me. You see a lot of lifters, a lot of young lifters come in, and everyone's talking about them. They're like, so-and-so is going to be the best. He's the future of his weight class, or she's the future of her weight class. And then one day, they drop off. You go, what happened? Did they get injured? And they go, no, I just fell out of love with it. Now, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're falling out of love with it. But a lot of the time, these lifters could resolve that by just taking an extended break from competing and from putting that pressure on themselves, which is what I did. And I'm lucky I found this out and figured this out early on in my powerlifting career. And I didn't just go, no, I'm out. I just went, no, I'm done with competing for a while. And that's when I cut to 120. And I had to do that for my own mental sake. Now that's how I fixed it. What you need to understand is balance is different for everyone. So that person that comes into the gym 3 or 4 days a week after their 9 to 5, powerlifting is what they use to escape or change up their life, right? So that's a good thing for them. Powerlifting is the different factor in their life. It's what they do removed from everything else. They can go, they can relax. It's something that, maybe their partner's not involved in, they're not around their kids, they're not around their normal friends. So that's the different part of their life they go to relax, to unwind. Now, when you're a competitive powerlifter, a coach, or just heavily involved in the industry, you need something else. Ideally, not another sport, just something. I know there's some good powerlifters that play chess. They learn different languages, and you know who I'm talking about, but that's right on. They're doing the right thing that a lot of us should be doing. And that's branching out and finding other things to switch off and relax from this sport, from coaching, from being involved. And that's how I saved myself from burning out, or came back from burnout. And it's what a lot of lifters could do to stop themselves from going down the same course I was going down. Because I tell you what, if I had have just pushed through and just sucked it up, I wouldn't be here now talking about powerlifting. I'd be working for someone else, and probably just drinking beers and playing video games all the time. So that balance is really, really important for your longevity in this sport. Now on that, this is a nice short one. I'm happy to be back. It's probably a bit quicker because it's the third time I've done this video, but I'm still really enjoying these, and I'm really, really motivated to get at least one out a week. So thank you for all the love. All those DMs are really great. Just keep sending me topics you want me to talk about. It's a lot easier when I know what you guys want, so I can talk about that topic rather than making up myself. I'm not a very creative person, and if we do that, I'll probably just end up stagnating. Now, this week's lifter is Christopher Agat. He just recently did a 290 kilo deadlift for 3 sets of 4, but I know his best double is 360, and he's coming back from an injury. So just keep an eye on this guy. He's super strong, has all the potential in the world to deadlift over 400 kilos in competition, and I'm really excited to see it, and it's great to see such strong talent coming out of Australia.